Charlotte Flair. More news on Charlotte Flair. Now, at the start of this week, it was reported by Alex McCarthy over at TalkSport. We made a video on this, that Charlotte Flair was out for the foreseeable future. She had been written off of television on Monday Night Raw after an attack by Nia Jax had, quote, injured her shoulder in kayfabe. And she wasn't going to be back till the earliest Survivor Series, but another source said it was likely that she was going to come back around January time, around Royal Rumble time, and there was 0% chance she was going to come back for SummerSlam. Remember that, 0% chance she was going to come back for SummerSlam. Well, a new report is coming out that she is going to be back by SummerSlam. This is what wrestling is at the moment. Wrestling is just... one day you hear something, the next day you hear something else. One day you hear one report, one day you hear something else. And the thing is, I believe all of them, because I genuinely think that WWE just doesn't actually know what they're going to do from day to day or minute to minute at that point. So I don't blame anyone who's reporting this. So the shoulder injury that she has obviously is kayfabe. She is going to take some personal time off from WWE. There was reports that she's going to get surgery, but it's going to be a cosmetic surgery. That hasn't been confirmed, but Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has stated that he is led to believe that Flair will be returning around SummerSlam, although nothing is set as of yet. He said, quote, "I asked a couple of people and nobody knows the time frame, but she is definitely having surgery." And that's what the storyline was to explain her being gone. I think SummerSlam was sort of being hinted to me, end quote. So that's what Dave Meltzer has been told. Charlotte Flair also recently spoke to the Sports Hiatus and spoke about when she plans to return to WWE after her sabbatical. She said, quote, "Yes, I'll only be gone for a few weeks," Charlotte confirmed. "They can still play things on the WWE network, but utilizing my social media will be most important while I'm gone. No one is going to miss me. They're going to feel like I'm there," is basically what I'm saying. I'm gone, but I'm not really gone. That's the thought. So again, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Professional wrestling. One day you're out for close to 6 months or a year. The next day you're out for a couple of weeks. That is professional wrestling. I think it makes the most sense. Now, I mentioned earlier on in the week when I did the Charlotte Flair video that she was going to be gone till January or maybe November, is that it would be the best thing for her. And I still do stand by that. I still do think it would be the best thing for Charlotte Flair to stay away from the WWE for a little bit of time, just to make people miss her. You know, there is this massive online problem with Charlotte Flair. I've made a video about it in the past, that it's constant. There is so much overexposure when it comes to Charlotte Flair. She's in every title match. She just lost the NXT Women's Championship, and then she's straight in for the Raw Women's Championship. It's too much. It is too much, and eventually fans start to turn. Luckily, the fans haven't been there in the arena at the moment, because they certainly would have turned. Fans have turned on social media for quite a while now. And that's not to say I'm not a Charlotte Flair fan. I've stayed every single time I talk about Charlotte Flair, because I think it's important to stay. I am a big fan of Charlotte Flair. I think she is one of the best in-ring workers, male or female, in the WWE. She's one of the best female competitors in the world. She's very, very good on the mic. She looks like a star. She acts like a star. And anytime she's put into a big match, I mean, we can say about having all of these title matches and being in these big matches, but every time she is in a title match or a big match, she always delivers. Every time she has been on the big stage, Charlotte Flair always does deliver. That's why WWE goes with her, of course, and because she is a Flair and because she is blonde and Vince McMahon loves blondes. That is the reason as to why. Now, I was surprised when the initial report came out from Alex McCarthy that she was going to be out till the Royal Rumble or Survivor Series at the earliest, purely because I mentioned it, WrestleMania 35, the first ever female main event in WrestleMania history. The females go on at the end and close the show. It's Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. Without Charlotte Flair on WWE television, that means no of those three competitors from the first ever female main event in WrestleMania history are currently on WWE television. Those are the three people you put in the biggest spot in female history, in WWE, I must say, not female history, of course, in WWE history, and none of them are on TV. They've put time, money, and a whole lot more into building up those three characters, and to have none of them on WWE TV would be a massive, massive, massive drain to WWE's star power in their female division. It's just what it is. It's exactly the case when it comes to that. So I think Charlotte Flair coming back sooner than was originally reported is probably a little bit of misinformation being given out, if I'm completely honest. But I also think it's WWE realising, look, we just can't have you off TV that long. Becky Lynch isn't here. Ronda Rousey isn't here. You know, we need the star power. Now, it's not as if they don't have stars on Monday Night Raw. Oh my God, they have stars on Monday Night Raw. Asuka is the best female in WWE right now. Her and Io Shirai are the best in the ring, but Asuka is better because her character is better, her promos are better. She is just such a well-rounded character and one of the best characters in the WWE, male or female right now. That is why Asuka is the Raw Women's Champion. Vince McMahon is a big fan. Everyone is a big fan. I wish there were crowds in the arenas right now, safely, of course. But if there were crowds in the arenas right now, they would be Asuka would be getting some of the biggest ovations and getting some of the biggest reactions because she is that good. She is that good right now in WWE. However, they need more stars on Monday Night Raw, but they've got them. They've got Bianca Belair. What has she been doing the last few weeks? She was called up at WrestleMania, and on the Raw after WrestleMania, she goes here. Right, that was the promo. I go here now. Apparently not, because we haven't seen her since. She goes here, but she doesn't. She goes here, but she never shows up. She's like Brock Lesnar. Okay, she's the female Brock Lesnar. She goes here, but not really. Now, I feel sorry because Bianca Belair, if you saw her at the Royal Rumble, if you saw her matches in NXT TakeOver Portland this year, said her performance in the Royal Rumble was stellar. One of the standout performers in the Royal Rumble this year. And she can't even get on Raw. Raw's a 3-hour show. Are you kidding me? You have like a million recaps. Throw Bianca Belair out there. Actually have a match. Build up a new star, please. And then you've got Shayna Baszler, who again gets called up from NXT. There's a recurring theme here, by the way. Someone gets over in NXT and then they get to the main roster and Vince McMahon gives up very quickly on them. Ugh. I wish he'd give up on some other gimmicks that quickly. King Corbin. But, you know, you have Shayna Baszler. She gets called up. She's scheduled to win the Women's Royal Rumble. That doesn't happen. Charlotte Flair comes in at the last minute and wins it. She wins the Elimination Chamber. Gets roundly criticised for winning that, which I didn't understand. The whole point of that match was to get her over and be dominant. But the crowd, you know, we want Shayna Baszler. But then when you have her win, we don't want Shayna Baszler. What do you want? Seriously. So then she has the match at WrestleMania against Becky Lynch, who at the time was pregnant, by the way. Shayna Baszler still loses to a pregnant woman, and then the pregnant woman disappears from WWE TV very quickly after that. Now, obviously, we didn't know Becky Lynch was pregnant at the time, but at the time, it was still the wrong decision for Becky Lynch to win. It's exactly what it was, regardless of if she was pregnant or not. That match should have put Shayna Baszler over. Then you would have established and built a new star. Becky Lynch had been the Raw Women's Champion for 1 year, 365 days at that point when it was WrestleMania this past year. If you had had Shayna Baszler end the 1 year Raw Women's Championship streak of Becky Lynch, you would have made a new star. Now, instead, you can barely see Shayna Baszler on WWE television now. Why is that? Because Vince McMahon has given up on Shayna Baszler. If you've given up on her, and if you don't want to have Bianca Belair on television, send them back to NXT, because it'll make NXT a better show. Otherwise, you're just wasting talent on Monday Night Raw, again, from NXT. Now, I've gone off on a massive tangent there. The point is Charlotte Flair. She's going to be back at SummerSlam. So, if she's going to be back at SummerSlam, I think the match between her and Asuka is back on for SummerSlam. That's the biggest match they can do on Monday Night Raw on the female side of things right now. And obviously the match they had this past Monday, yes, they're going on about Asuka finally defeated Charlotte Flair. She finally righted that wrong. She didn't, because Nia Jax, of course, attacked Charlotte Flair earlier on in the show. She worked over the shoulder, and Asuka made a tap out with the injured shoulder. So I think Charlotte Flair will come back. She'll probably have a match against Nia Jax on Monday Night Raw. But then this will lead to the Asuka versus Charlotte Flair match. A healthy Charlotte Flair, a healthy Asuka, and they can finally have the rematch. And that is when you have Asuka get the big win over Charlotte Flair, and you really cement Asuka as the big female star on Monday Night Raw. You don't need Charlotte Flair winning that match. She's already a star. She's bulletproof. She can do as many jobs as she wants. She is not hurt. Look at Ric Flair. Okay, she's exactly the same as Ric Flair. Eventually, Ric Flair was so over as a heel that it didn't matter if he lost the one because he was Ric Flair. It's exactly the same with Charlotte Flair right now. The person who needs to win when they have their match at SummerSlam is Asuka, because as a champion, you need to win, and then win some more to establish yourself as a big babyface champion. That's how it works. That's how you make new stars. That's how you build new stars. That is what needs to happen when Charlotte Flair returns at SummerSlam to face Asuka, which is what I think is going to happen. You had Charlotte Flair get all these victories over Asuka, right? WrestleMania 34, she ended Asuka's undefeated streak. Just before WrestleMania last year, she defeats Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, gets put in to the main event of WrestleMania 35. Asuka beats her on Monday Night Raw, but kind of not really because Charlotte was injured. Charlotte always has that loophole out of it. Then at SummerSlam, finally, Asuka can defeat Charlotte Flair, and then we can move on. We can move on. That can no longer be hanging over Asuka's head that Charlotte Flair has her number. It's the same storyline that they did with Becky Lynch and Asuka this year at the Royal Rumble. It's a simple storyline, but it works. So I think that's the way they're going to go with it. I think Dave Meltzer is right, and the rest of the reports are right that Charlotte Flair will be back sooner rather than later, especially if it is a cosmetic surgery. Those things don't tend to keep you out so long. And look, she has been working incredibly hard. She's been on every single brand. She's been on every single program. She deserves a bit of time off. I'd rather it be a bit longer so she can have a more impactful return, but WWE, apparently, they think they need the star power. But of course, this is just one man's opinion. What is your opinion on Charlotte Flair now seeming to return by SummerSlam instead of Survivor Series or WrestleMania next year? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Charlotte Flair's upcoming return. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right-hand corner of the screen right now, or you can wait a few seconds. There'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video, along with another video for you to watch. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms on the screen right now. That's at 365 Wrestle on Twitter and at Wrestle News 365 on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. And I'll speak with you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.